Welcome back to Open Line. And Beth Brown, so you thankfully took notes on that last question. And that was a very informed question. Kind of go through and answer that as best you can. We only have a couple minutes here, but go ahead and answer as best you can her questions.
Great. And thank you for the question, Jessica. You asked about the accountability bill, the Hold Harmless bill, particularly as it relates to teachers who are teaching pre-K through second grade in the portfolio. I can tell you that in the bill there is permission to do something besides the portfolio. So there is discussion around doing away with the portfolio. We certainly recognize that going in and out of in-person instruction has had a significant impact on an educator's ability to collect the needed data. You also asked about the evaluations, and whether or not evaluations would continue over the course of the year. I can tell you that the TEA has been advocating not only for the suspension of standardized testing, but for the suspension of the evaluation system. Again, I've been teaching 20 years, and I know that there is not a state-approved evaluation model that can fairly and accurately measure an educator's performance during a pandemic. Unfortunately, we don't see anything in legislation because that's something that's left up to the State Board of Education, but it is something that TEA regularly discusses with the State Board of Education. You also asked, Jessica, about the quote-unquote learning loss bill, that seeks to remedy the disruption to student learning. TEA certainly recognizes some good intent. We do need to think creatively about how we're going to help students overcome disruptions to their learning. There are some really troubling aspects of this bill, not the least of which is that it would allow untrained and non-certified people to come into our schools to provide instruction in those camps. And ultimately, it's also going to leave an unfunded mandate for districts across the state, which we certainly cannot afford, as we're already 45th in the nation because we are under-resourced as it is. And you mentioned the literacy bill and the third grade retention rates. Again, that's another bill that TEA has significant concerns about. I will say this: when we start talking about literacy in our schools, one of the positives about that Reading 360 program is the desire to provide high quality resources to educators so that they can spend their time actually teaching instead of looking for resources themselves. But again, there are some aspects of that bill that we find troubling as well.
So you will both be up there at the legislature, I'm sure, certainly following what's going on at the legislature. I think you're not allowed maybe to go up there, but you'll be following what's going on. This is an essential time. And I appreciate you coming on tonight. I wish we had more time, but thanks you both for coming on tonight. And I guess we're going to take a break, and I'll come back and wrap everything up. Thanks.